Hello there, Ray here, and in this video we're going to be looking at some cool discoveries that we made during our snapshot stream. This includes a door duplicator, a zero-tick weeping vine farms, plus a new vertical redstone, and some weird stuff that we came across during our testing, as well as some footage I forgot to put in the last video. So join me as we look into all the weirdness with the Nether update. So if you have a block and the door is on top of a block and you break the block, it drops 2 doors. So I made a simple door dupe just using a trap door. Every time the trap door is sitting flat, you're able to place a door on it. Every time it goes down, it automatically breaks it. And currently there's a bug where if the block is removed or changed from underneath the door, then it actually duplicates these new doors. And you can also change your right click button to a key, which will actually make it fast. So go ahead and press the J key. You can see I got 2 doors on that. And by having more doors in your hotbar, holding down the J key, you could just keep spam them. And this is kind of like an auto-clicking method, just by holding down the J key, because it'll actually do really fast inputs, faster than holding down your right-click button. So you can dupe doors extremely fast. Look at that, I'm already up to a stack. And it consists of 2 observers that just get pulled into place using a piston. And that makes the observers actually pulse faster than if you just manually place them down. I'm just clicking up against this block here to kind of give a permanent place to click against. And you can put these doors into any type of furnace, including like a smoker, exhaust fuel, as well as like a blast furnace to get free fuel. Oh, that's nice, Cheer Fruits. Just holding shift. Oh yeah, Baby Blaze is working on this too.
Yeah, it doesn't work all the time, but often enough.
The door duplicators were mostly a simple device, yet they're very effective in getting a lot of doors. Next up, we're going to take a look at the weeping vines, which can naturally generate on the crimson fungus, both on the giant forms that are naturally produced in the world, as well as bone milling the small crimson fungus into a huge one. And these vines have some pretty cool properties. So the vines have an age similar to that of like kelp. If you look at the first one, whatever age that one is going to tell you how long it can grow. So something like 7 can grow quite a bit. It'll start 7, and then every time it grows one time, it will increase age by 1 until it gets to 25. So the lower the number it starts out with, the longer it can grow. So unlike vines, it's actually limited on how far it can grow. If you AFK in one area in the Nether, you're not just going to have everything end up the same height or length. They're going to kind of be staggered, which is going to make it look pretty nice. And we have tick rate up so it goes a little faster because watch this grow. So we made a simple 0-ticking weeping vine farm. We got the vines underneath the block. You can put them above almost any full block. Vines can be placed underneath them. And then when they get updated, they will grow. They'll grow downwards. This will also change the type of vine that's being detected by this observer, which is coming behind. The observer is powering a block in the back, which is updating this rail, budding this piston, which will make it power for a short period. And this will break the vine off. We're collecting all the weeping vines down here. People like to call them wines, like weeping vine wines. And you can definitely expand this to make many more of these, but it seems like 0-ticking does work. You can make a really cool farm out of this. We just got a couple torches here going to a couple pistons, which are being budded, and then they're being updated by some pistons above them, pushing blocks back and forth super fast. So the weeping vines are really cool because you can decorate a lot of things just by placing them underneath, and they will naturally grow, or you can make them grow whatever length you want to just by adding more of them onto ends of them. And you can even put on stuff like glass, which is really cool. Kind of look like they're floating there. If you do break this block, it will destroy all the vines and it will drop as items. Unlike the vines that are from the overworld, you can't actually climb these, so from like pushing forward or holding space, you can't climb them up. Maybe they'll add that eventually, which would be pretty cool. And these vines are also not flammable, so they won't like burn. Yeah, anything that has like a full block, bottom block, they can be placed on, so even something like a slab works just fine. So if you use something like a bottom trapdoor, you can place them on there, but if you open this, then it's going to update them. They're all going to break off. What did you do, Johnny? So you replaced the older vines with younger vines. You first put in a bunch of vines, and then once it's kind of where you want it, then you break and replace them with newer vines. That is a really cool trick. You can kind of give like a particle effect look. You can also, if you're fast, you can also switch out this block with another type of block, and we'll update it. And that's why it allows us to be able to do zero ticket. So you got a redstone block going back and forth between two pistons. Whenever it powers them, it pushes it away, so it moves extremely fast, back and forth. And this is updating the one vine you got underneath. And then you have a piston underneath, which is also being powered for a very brief period, which is breaking the vine off. That is very, very fast.
It should be about 1 every second.
So all you really need is a collection system to pick up the weeping vines. So you have the redstone blocks going back and forth, updating this, which will extend, and it will send a brief signal over here, which will push them back. And once they go back and forth, they just keep it up. That is really nicely tileable. It's like really easy to understand too. It was a lot of fun making those weeping vine farms. Moldfolk even made one that had weeping vines on the bottom as well as bamboo on top. So you kind of got two different things zero ticked at the same time. He might have a video about that on his channel. Next up, we take a look at some vertical instant wire that was introduced with some changes to do with the walls in Minecraft. So by putting a block above the wall here, it changes form, and that's detectable. So this bug was fixed in the snapshot. Essentially, if you had walls like this and you have blocks attached to the side of them, they will change their shape depending if something's on top of it. So you might remember in the past, if you like put a torch on top of this, it would change the shape to kind of support that block. So you can see the shape changing from kind of a thicker edge to a thinner, just like so. And now this also affects all the walls below it as well. And we can detect this with an observer, so we just need to make sure the observer doesn't actually change the form of it as well. So we'll just stick it underneath. That way we can read the change, and we can put that into some redstone lamps, just like so. So now if we go ahead and remove the torch, you can see it detects it. And we put the torch back, it also detects it. And you can do this with any block on top, so anything that will change the form of it, including like a trapdoor. Trapdoors downwards, it recognizes as a block above. When it's sitting up on the side, it's not recognized anymore, and the wall can change. So you can use this kind of as a vertical redstone. Technically, it's not like wireless. The walls themselves are wire. It's just not redstone wire that's going downwards. It's very useful to kind of transport signals up and down very quickly. And since it's not limited by any distance, you can make this as tall as you want. I'm going to put in these blocks on the side as well. That way it actually changes into the lengthy wall rather than the single walls. Now, if we go ahead and place a trapdoor there, you can see it lights up the redstone lamp down below. So you can send a signal from the top of the world all the way down to the very bottom, 256 blocks. With the observer detecting down below, you just have that 2 game tick delay with the observer reading the change in this wall right here. Now you can still get these spaces in between the walls if you build it up and then break it and then put in a new one like that, then you get this little space. So if you don't want that space, make sure to go from the bottom and build all the way up and not to break it part way. Other than that, it's very useful even to wire up stuff whenever you're trying to send a signal downwards. You can save on a lot of redstone or like slimestone, however you're trying to send the signal downwards. If you're trying to look for an actual wireless redstone, I did show one in the past that still works to do with daylight sensors and comparators. I'll link that down below. They also changed the way that biomes kind of spread out among the world. Like in the overworld, it don't matter how high or low you go, the biome will always be the same. But a couple versions ago, they actually changed it so that you could make it so that depending on how high or low you are in the world, the biome could change as well. And they actually introduced that into the Nether update. If I go upwards around here, you can see how the entire screen changes. This is because we're moving from a Crimson Forest to a Soul Sand Valley. So here's the Soul Sand Valley. You can see it right here. It says Soul Sand Valley. And then if I go a little bit up, we're into the Crimson Forest, but the actual fog changing is actually very noticeable. So right around here, you can see the blue fog, which is supposed to be for the Soul Sand Valley, but it came a little bit late. Now it says we're in Crimson. It probably depends on where my head is versus where my feet are at. But with this, it means that they can kind of stack biomes on top of each other. So you don't always have to move horizontally to find new biomes. You might also be able to move vertically and run across a new type of biome. It will be really cool to see if they introduce this into the overworld and make it so like stuff in the caves is a different biome and it can have a unique generation. even though the top is the typical biomes that we are used to in the overworld. Right now, when you're moving up and down, it can be a bit of like a strobe light when you're moving, so hopefully they come in and change that because it's pretty noticeable. Next up, we take a look at the knockback resistance that the new netherite armor will provide to the player. How much knockback resistance does this armor actually provide? Oh wow. So with no armor, I got all the way to here. Got one piece on, see how far back I go. Oh, all the way to here. On the edge though, it's in the middle of the block. Oh wow. So now I'm in the middle of this one. So it's slowly reducing about half a block or so. Yeah, so now I'm kind of between the two blocks once again. Yeah, now I'm more in the center of this one. So we can see as you add more pieces on, it does reduce the knockback, but not by a lot. That was a knockback 2 sword. But normally knockback 2 goes, what, 6 blocks? Now it reduced it down to 4 blocks. So it helps a little bit. Not like super OP. Now they change it so that you can mine up pistons more easily by using a pickaxe. So using your hand is kind of slow. See how slow that is. But if you come in here and use a pickaxe, it is considerably faster, and the new pickaxe is how fast that is. Wow, that's going to be very useful. Now if you do put the efficiency 5 on your netherite pick, and you also have haste 2, it's almost like you can instant mine pistons. It almost seems like it's instant mine. It's a little bit hard to tell. Here's mining, instant mine of netherrack. And here's it on the pistons. Yeah, it kind of seems like it is instant. So that might be one of the new items that you can actually instant mine. You have to have efficiency 5 as well as a haste 2, otherwise it won't work. So people are wondering if like sponges have a special tool now. You can kind of see how fast it is to break them. It doesn't look like they have a special tool, so it looks like we're still stuck by using our fist. Beacons are another block that doesn't matter what type of tool you use, they break at the same speed, and I don't seem any of the new weapons help with this. You can't update non-diamond stuff with the netherite ore, so you can't use it on like tridents, that doesn't work, shields don't work, everything kind of similar, like elytras, that stuff doesn't work. Only stuff that is actually diamond. So yeah, the Soul Sand Valley has a lot higher chance of producing ghast. Pretty much that's because there is less mobs to spawn overall. Just skeletons, Endermen are spawning in the Soul Sand Valley as well as the skeletons. But yeah, a lot of ghast. This would make a great ghast farm. The hoglings are hostile mobs, so they will spawn and despawn in this biome depending on how far the player is from them. They're also not resistant to fire, so if we grab some flint and steel, set these guys on fire. You'd think most mobs that are natural to the nether would not really be able to get caught on fire. You can also find these bone structures, and they kind of generate wherever there is air. So I don't think they generate, well, it looks like they kind of generate into the sides a little bit. But there is currently some bugs which will like duplicate them on top of each other. Manrock found one of these structures that was duplicated 4 times on top of each other, which is really strange. A lot of interesting stuff in the Nether update already, and this is just the very first snapshot. If there's any interesting things I missed that I didn't cover in the last couple of videos, please tell me down in the comments. And don't forget to go ahead and like the video as well as share it with other Minecrafters so they can learn about all the cool things that can be done so far in the Nether update. And the video about the huge fungi farm is coming out very soon, so you guys have that to look forward to. I would like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!